Canada stands firmly with Poland, with our NATO allies, and of course with Ukraine in the short and the long term. And at the foremost of our commentary is the necessity for Russia to stop its illegal and unjustifiable war.
The U.S. President Donald Trump was blunt with his reaction, posting on social media, quote, "What's with Russia violating Poland's airspace with drones? Here we go." Joining me now is Maria Popova, political analyst and author of Russia and Ukraine, Entangled Histories, Diverging States. Maria, thank you very much for being here. What message do you think Russia is trying to send with this drone strike?
Well, Russia, I think, is trying to test NATO's readiness and preparedness to actually respond to this provocation, because this is a NATO member, Poland, and their airspace was violated, and indeed some debris or the drone or a missile, there's damage in Poland. They're trying to see how NATO is going to respond to this escalation and provocation.
So if Russia is testing NATO's response, does that mean that it has bigger plans in place?
We know that Russia has bigger plans. They have been very blunt about it. They have always said, beyond the sort of perfunctory denials that they don't intend on attacking anyone, they said that literally a week before attacking Ukraine. Russia is constantly talking about NATO and European NATO members as enemies. It has talked about its different demands on the Baltics, on Poland. So there's no doubt that Russia has bigger plans. The question is whether NATO shows resolve in clearly signaling to Russia that these plans are not feasible for Russia to act on.
Poland is triggering NATO Article 4 to get together and have discussions over what has happened. Do you see Poland putting more diplomatic pressure on NATO allies? And is there a risk of this spilling over into other European countries?
Well, that's what NATO is for. If a member is attacked or there's a threat to its sovereignty and security, all the NATO members get together to discuss how, as a defensive alliance, to counter that threat. And so right now, Poland is where Russia attacked or where Russia has tested these boundaries. And so the discussions are absolutely necessary in order for NATO to continue as a defensive alliance. They actually have to step up and act on this promise of defense.
Now, when it comes to sanctions against Russia, we know that Donald Trump has been very wishy-washy about this. And then, of course, we saw his response to this, essentially saying, "What's with Russia violating Poland's airspace?" There we have it there on the screen. Here we go. How do you interpret that? Do you think that this will accelerate sanctions against Russia, and that if Donald Trump moves to do this, will they actually stick this time?
I mean, it's a very unserious response. It doesn't really get to the seriousness of the situation. It's kind of flippant. And I think it's time that we really stopped in trying to interpret what Donald Trump says about things and actually watching what he has done in his 9 months in office. He has talked a lot about sanctions, but he has not done anything. He has not, in fact, tried to pressure Russia. He has only given deadlines, which he has then let pass without actually acting on it. He supposedly wanted to find out if Putin is interested in peace. Putin has very clearly shown that he's not interested in peace, but in conquering Ukraine. And so far, the Trump administration has not put any pressure in terms of actual deeds, not words. So I think we should look for some pressure coming from the U.S. Otherwise, it's a sign of weakness by the U.S. But I'm not really expecting anything dramatic.
Okay, Maria, that is our time. Thank you very much for being here. It was great chatting with you today.
Thank you.
That is Maria Popova, author of Russia and Ukraine: Entangled Histories, Diverging States.